Bangka ken du ken lang aida nang ani de population su tole. Bang bride Peren district ka bang citizen man leader man kala na bongle. Anui boge lekate ndaden rai gra sai gra na anui sorgari dage higai karan rai gra bom setiamne. From the very inception of human history, there has been, Lord, problem with lands because of people, the evil people who invade, encroach, and distract the peaceful existence of the humankind. And Lord, when you divided the land, when your children of Israel occupied the land, the Canaan land, the promised land, you have asked them to live according to their tribes, and you have divided them accordingly. However, Lord, today, there are a lot of disputes, and Lord, there are fights because.
Itu kan kali pusung 3 tarik Sunday din de amar duita MLA, all the ex-MLAs, JLM Officers Union, keep with activity. Abakan personal lagan hoy.
Zoom committee mo ngai. Ipautia cabinet subcommittee mo ngai. But try December 2021 now Chumukedima district kai. But chia June 3 now notification kai dai. But chia come to June 27 notification. Kai now government get sai ke. Ami loi me no za. Ami loi me ami ke che toi me za. Mong ke gai. Ai de. Ami loi me nai. So ke ba me, pang ke ba me. Jing na. Nai lui lung. Ye wei me she loi, nje nan da ne. Ke bela, dan ro chi so tu si ge me she loi. Ke sai ke. Government ami de no ngong bu jiu. Ami nai yo government de we can Lungarale.
Aji laga yete amar laga protest rally. Itu to eletu. It is directed against the arbitrary decision of the government. Government la decision to eletu. Government to sob laga baba ase. To baba to decision loa time de kunu laga favor de kuri kene decision loi thakile to amar bi baba khobona ama khobona itu he confuse hoise mon na pungcha hoise itu karone aji amar itu protest kuri ase Peren sub division to ele 1971 de create kurise itu time tibi eku specific boundary ku thakane and we have our traditional boundary with chakro angami Punglo pra loi gene Jalukie tak amar side aro chema pra loi gene Chumukedima tak side. So traditional boundary to eletu it is very clear and yet it has never been disputed. Aro by 2019 September 21st September day yete Sakro public organization JM Council Jeliang body loi gene landowners Pura chairman Gambara so bahi gene thik ase amala boundary line to thik ase koi gene sign kori loise notarized kori loise government law to be amar handover kori to amar traditional boundary hisab te sub division hua time to be jai gene Jalukie manu hobe lamai manu hobe amar mati te dangor mati isor pradia toile kono kibi ahi gene itu pra district boundary to ele demarcate kori kina safa kori dibo lage what ele amar bi ichha ase oi bora baba ama khan laga boundary itu kotha koi thakile bi kiba eta to ele to if we can respect each other's right kiba eta to safa hoi gina man bi thakibo lagibo hoi gine cabinet sub committee logot ahise kotha bi korise amar opinion bi amar Peren district la opinion bi tayon logo express kori gene cabinet sub committee to tar laga recommendation dise to amar biswas government logo to bi biswas thaga to कैबिनेट सब कमिटी তে पेरेन डिस्ट्रिक्ट लगा सबसे ভাল হবো নহলে ডিমাপুর ডিস্ট্রিক্ট এটা চুমু হয়ে যাইছে ডিমাপুর ডিস্ট্রিক্ট লাগা সবচেয়ে ভালো হবো এটু না করিব যার সাথে তাই কারণে বিয়া নহব লাগা কিবা একটা কামটো করিব কইনে আমার বিশ্বাস করি কিনে থাকা তাইখা লাগা রিকমেন্ডেশন দিছে আমার বি মানিবলে মন নাই পেরেন ডিস্ট্রিক্ট মানবি কিন্তু ঠিক আছে বাবা থাকা আমার থাকা প্রা তাইখানে হবো আজি তো এইটো মানিবি দেই ওয়া লাগাটো এনে থুক গিলি বি আমার বি তো মানিব লাগিব কই কিনে ক্যাবিনেট সাব কমিটি লাগা রিকমেন্ডেশন যদি যায় তো আমার বি একসেপ্ট করিব কই কিনে থাকা লাগা কিন্তু provided the government acknowledge the traditional boundary Peren and Chumukedima districts held on 17 June 2022 the emergency joint consultation meeting of civil societies of Peren district and landowners Lamhai and Jalukie village councils was held on 17 June 2022 at the residence of Sri Kiripilei Helung, President NZPO, on the issue of inter-district boundary between Peren district and Chumukedima district. The House seriously regretted the decision of the government of Nagaland for failure to provide any justification in its decision to demarcate the inter-district boundary between Peren and Chumukedima district. The traditional boundary between Chumukedima village and Jalukie and Lamhai villages in Peren, which is free from any dispute between landowners of both sides, was not considered as justification to be made inter-district boundary, and also the recommendation of Cabinet Subcommittee with justification of administrative convenience was also turned down at the dictate of a particular community. The House therefore unanimously resolved that the landowner villages of Jalukie and Lamhai and civil society organization of Peren district shall not accept any cabinet decision or notification of the government of Nagaland in regard to the inter-district boundary between Peren and Chumukedima districts taken or made for the interest of certain community without any justification. We reserve the right to reject any decision imposed on us by any authority over our ancestral land. Okay, signed by NZPO, Jeliamrong Baudi, Kuki MP, Liamai Council, Romai Council, Liamai Council, JMA Council, Romai Council, Aro Peren District GB Association, Chairman Union, Aro landowners. सब साइन কৰি কিনে আমাৰ এমএলএ দুটাকে বি দিছে তো এটো কৰি কিনে আহিছে তো এতিয়া আজি গভৰ্নমেন্ট তো কৰি কিনে এতিয়া লাষ্ট তো আজিতে কৈছে নোটিফিকেশন কিমান আলাগ আলাগ ওলাইছে হইলে বি লাষ্ট তো হইলে তো পয়লা কিনিকা আছে কিনিকাতে আৰু ৰাখি দিছে The villages under Dansari Park subdivision shall be under Chumukedima district. So, Dansari Park subdivision or Jalukie subdivision laga demarcation to key order as a government. Basing on what order, on what recommendation, I have to notification yes. That is a question we want to ask to the government. Kine mane hoila di na thaka bra eko order nai notification nai etu bra duita committee set up korisilo to the Honorable Chief Minister of Nagaland by all Jalukie and Lamhai village councils through the Deputy Commissioner Peren on the 8th of July 2022. Honorable Sir, the Jalukie subdivision of Peren district falls under the traditional land of all Jalukie and Lamhai villages. Whereas the administrative jurisdiction between Jalukie subdivision and Dansari Park subdivision was never set till date by any order or notification of the state government and was administering randomly on the strength of forceful maneuvering by a section of particular community. That reality necessitated the government of Nagaland in constituting two committees, namely Ijung Committee of 2002 and Cabinet Subcommittee of 2019 by order number CAV 1 Inter-District 2021 under your leadership for the sole purpose of demarcation of inter-district boundary between Peren and the Dimapur district, primarily between these two subdivisions. In the light of the stated realities on the inter-district boundary, the undersigned ancestral landowners of Jalukie subdivision are constrained to place the following points to your esteemed office for immediate action. Number one, the landowner villages of Old Jalukie and Lamhai outrightly reject the notification of the government of Nagaland issued on the 27th of June 2022 by order number GAV Interdistrict 2021. This notification totally lacked any justification as it is based neither on the convenience of administration nor on the traditional boundary between ancestral landowners of Old Jalukie and Lamhai villages of Peren and Chumukedima village of Chumukedima districts. Number two, the traditional land boundary between ancestral landowners of Old Jalukie and Lamhai villages of Peren district and Chumukedima village of Chumukedima district is very clear and has never been disputed between ancestral landowners. The dispute occurred only because of illegal settlements within the ancestral land on both sides. And thus, Old Jalukie and Lamhai have been raising objection against recognition of such illegal intrusion through litigations and petitions to the government time and again. Whereas we, the traditional landowners, desire peaceful coexistence among Naga brothers with due acknowledgement of each other's right. The state government of Nagaland, instead of augmenting the spirit of peaceful coexistence, have totally taken a biased decision in its cabinet meeting on the 13th of June 2022, only at the behest of a particular tribe for reason best known to the government. Any complications in future arising out of this biased decision will be the sole responsibility of the present government of Nagaland. Number three, the failure of the state government to implement the studied recommendations of Sri Pangyu Form led Cabinet Subcommittee on Inter-District Boundary and the subsequent flip-flop decision serving its own committee in cold storage clearly shows lack of political maturity. The landowners therefore totally lost faith on the state government and shall stand by our ancestral land boundary with Chumukedima village, come what may, and shall not accept any decision forced down our throat over our ancestral land. The ancestral landowner villages of Old Jalukie and Lamhai therefore fervently appeal your honorable office to rectify the decision at the earliest. Any implications arising out of this biased decision shall be the sole responsibility of the state government. Signed by Hein King, Chairman Old Jalukie, Ivanko, Chairman Lamhai. Itu Ekta ase, second to Eletu NGO Saipra. Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Nagaland, through the Deputy Commissioner Peren. Subject, objection against the government's notification number GAB1 Interdistrict 2021 dated 27 June 2022 on inter-district boundary demarcation. Sir, on the subject cited above, the undersigned is constrained again to put forth the following statements for your kind information and perusal thereof. That, sir, the Nagaland Jiliang People Organization and the civil society of organizations of Peren District outrightly rejects the cabinet decision GAB1 Interdistrict 2021 dated 27 June 2022 on the inter-district boundary demarcation, since the details of the notification is biased and bereft of any honor in it. The notification is tailor-made only to suit the advantage of the non-land owners against the original landowners of Peren District. That, sir, the decision of the government on the demarcation of the inter-district boundary citing administrative convenience is not justified, as villages like Kiabdi lies in the heart of Peren District, which is only about 4 to 5 kilometers from Jalukie town, whereas it is more than 30 kilometers from Chumukedima town. That, sir, the government set up the Izum Commission in the year 2002 in order to demarcate the inter-district boundaries. However, the recommendation of Izum Committee was rejected by the Chakro, Angami and Jiliang as it did not take historical facts into account. Mention may be made that Chakro, Angami and Jima Council made an agreement on 21st September 2019 and asserted our stand that there is no tribal land within the Chakro-Jiliang boundary besides the Jiliangs and Chakro Angami. That, sir, a cabinet subcommittee was also set up in the year 2019 under the leadership of Pangyu Form with regard to this inter-district boundary issue. However, the government contradicted itself by not accepting the recommendations of the subcommittee too. That, sir, the cabinet decision of 27 June 2022 implies that the government is taken ransom by a particular community and that the decision of the government is nothing but just another notification on a piece of paper to suit the other parties for which we are starting to lose faith in the government. That said, if the government is unable to accept even the recommendation of its own committee for region best known to them, the boundary must be demarcated as per the traditional boundary. That said, the undersigned put forth this demand to the government in its strongest terms to initiate necessary measures for the eviction of all the unauthorized illegal settlements within Chumukedima and Peren district traditional boundary before coming to any decision which in turn will pave way for an acceptable inter-district boundary demarcation. That said, the joint CSOs of Peren district and landowners issue this unanimous statement that any decision of the government concerning the inter-district boundary issue shall never be accepted even in the future if it is biased and unacceptable. Therefore, the government is informed to reconsider its decision and work out an acceptable inter-district boundary demarcation by taking all stakeholders into confidence, which will ensure peace and prosperity of all the parties concerned in this inter-district boundary issue. That's why the apex body, that is NZPO, along with the CSOs of Peren district, shall not be held responsible for any fallout that may arise in the event of the government's failure to address this issue and bring it to logical and acceptable conclusion. In this regard, the government must take note of the old adage, justice delayed is justice denied, and dispense justice at the earliest. Enclose all necessary documents to substantiate the above statements, signed by all the CSOs. Thank you.
Justice delayed is
Justice denied.
justice delayed is
Justice denied.
we want
Justice.
we want
Justice.
no government
For Peren District.
no government
For Peren District.
justice delayed is
Justice denied.
we stand
By the truth.
we stand
By the truth.
we stand
By the truth.
we want
Justice.
we want
Justice.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We stand
By truth.
We stand
By truth.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government
For Peren District.
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 We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We object
Cabinet decision.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government
For Peren District.
No government
For Peren District.
No government
For Peren District.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government
For Peren District.
No government
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We stand
For the truth.
We stand
For the truth.
We stand
For the truth.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
We object.
Cabinet decision.
We object.
Cabinet decision.
We object.
Cabinet decision.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
We stand
For the truth.
We stand
For the truth.
We stand
For the truth.
We want
Justice.
We want
Justice.
No government.
For Peren District.
No government.
For Peren District. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome.
On behalf of govt, itu ekta apni tabke janai dibole मन আছে itu আমি খান আপনি মেমোরেন্ডাম আজি সাবমিট কৰিছে itu তো আমি খান অনারেবল সিএম কে ফরওয়ার্ড কৰি দিব এন্ড আমি খান भी होपफुल আছে গভর্নমেন্ট তো itu पूरा सेंसिटिविटी আপনি খান লাগা ভাবনা বুঝি के नहीं आगे स्टेप लोबो तो itu আমি খান লাগা সাইট এডমিনিস্ট্রেশন সাইট তে भी itu ही रिक्वेस्ट আছে আপনি খান লাগা কি रिक्वेस्ट আছে কি মেমোরেন্ডাম আপনি সাবমিট কৰি কিনা আছে আমি খান গভর্নমেন্ট কে ফরওয়ার্ড কৰি দিব और फिर ताई खान लगा डिसीजन करने रुकिब तो अपनी सब जन के इतु ही को बोले मन थाकिছে थैंक यू सो मच ओके
저는 나는 이제 누 그런 거 아니 구에도 내도네 아니 뭐서 맞아별로 이렇게 해라 나는 쭉쭉 찐 거라
Justice na padal do mundo na gumawde.
깜짝 와보면 미케닝 저거 합니다
Nin ta bam le nin ta ni da ma ma.
Cái kiểu chơi đó này, anh ơi, nuôi ngon ngày buổi sáng này, anh ơi program success luôn đó lười, nuôi ngon cái mình chẳng là tích kiểu đó lười, anh ơi ngon đại tiêu đại xí mấy xe về, chỉ để kiếm bao lô đó là cái mà chỉ ngon đại gì lười, nuôi là tích kiểu cái sáng đó lười, cái kiểu chỉ cái là.
I sob ke धन्यवाद दिया से আজি মন না পৌঁছা Peren district কোয়াতোয়েলে তো আমার মন না পৌঁছে গইগেনে দেখাই দিয়াটো কোন প্রা দেখাবো পারিছে আপনি খান আহি দিয়া কারণে আপনি আন চেহারা দেখাই দিয়া কারণে আজি মন না দেখা না পৌঁছা তোলে দেখাই দিব পারিছে এটো প্রা সবকে ধন্যবাদ দিয়া আছে কালি পরশু জি হইলেবি কোয়া নেসনা আমার ডিসি সাহেব কোয়া নেসনা গভর্নমেন্ট সাইড Peren district administration সাইড প্রাবি সাইগেনে গভর্নমেন্ট কিবি কি আছে আমার লাগা মন না পৌঁছা তোলে তাইখান পৌঁছাবো কিন্তু কালি পরশু আৰু কি কৰিবলে লাগি যায় আগে যাব কাৰণে হইলে তো পাবলিক কে সব মোবিলাইজ কৰা টাইমতে আজি কৰা দিয়া নিছনা কালি পৰশু বি তো প্ৰাবি ভাল কৰি কিনে কৰি দিবলে সবকে হোপ কৰি আছে কৈ কিনে এইটো সিভিল সোসাইটি অর্গানাইজেশন সাইড পৰা আলাক মানুহ সব লাগা বদলিতে এইটো পাবলিক বি সবকে ধন্যবাদ দি আছে থ্যাংক ইউ along with Chakro Angamis. To landowners can majote kunai, tate kuribi, kwatwele government bi hoy. Administrative convenience sabo lage, kwatwele amanbi mane. Kintu aji laga June 27 la notification to administrative convenience namte ase. Kintu asol laga notification, the content to administrative convenience no hoy. কোনবা পার্টিকুলার মানু লাগা কনভিনিয়েন্সে সাইগেনে বাউন্ডারি বানা তো হইলে তো আজি বি না মানিব কালি বি না মানিব Peren district মানু এটো প্রা গভর্নমেন্ট কি বি আমার কই দিবলে আমার Peren district সাইড প্রা কই দিবলে মন থাকা তো হইলে তো কি করিলে বি political ki laga compulsion te na sai gene truth hosa laga tu sai gene problem tu ama baba hua hisab te hai government to ele tu sob karne sai gene tu justice to kurile bhal ase not for any gain or any political gain no hele bi ki laga gain laga hisab te na jai gene justice to kuri dile bhal ase koi gene aman laga opinion to itu te ase aro kali porsu ahibole din tibi jodi government etu tu tai khan laga decision bias decision to ele tu tai khan revoke na kore to physical no hoile bi ki legal means hoibi ki hobi Peren district to we will not give up ki hoile bi public decision to loi gene age to jabo koi gene etu government logote bi janai di ase thank you